Hello ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving. I hope this one was great for you. Today I have the special opportunity to bring you a tour of my buddy's new boat, new to him, a 2004 Farr 56 pilot house. Now this is a very cool boat, fairly rare, and it's built with Bluewater cruising in mind. So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you why and how and what features it has that maybe some other boats don't. And it's beautiful, man. You're gonna love it. It's one very special boat. So without wasting any time, because I think there's a storm coming, I think those clouds are gonna be here in like 10 minutes. So we gotta get this done on the outside fast. And then we can go inside and take our time in there. So why don't we just start right now? This whole boat is hydraulic. It's a bit on the complicated side, but it is very convenient. So here you've got the hydraulic furler for the jib. Beautiful. I'd rather have hydraulic furler than electric furler any day. I've had the electric furlers catch on me. And the cool part about this anchor locker is it has a cutout for the shore power cable. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. It's also got a freshwater washdown right here and the controls for the windlass inside. So this is the first watertight bulkhead right here at the back of this locker. Big cleats, big windlass. You guys might recognize this windlass as I have the exact same one on my boat. The difference is I have an electric motor, he has a hydraulic motor. And you can see right behind that the hydraulic lines going out for the staysail furler. The only thing I would say is the newer boats are putting this stay up by the front in a Solent rig, so you have more deck space. But this boat has a lot of deck space. Like you could fit a 16-foot dinghy up on this deck. Normally, this would be access for the sail locker, but in this boat, it's something else, and we're gonna see when we go down inside the boat. Here's the real deal about teak decks. They're a lot of maintenance, but they are the best non-slip you can get. Aft a little bit more, you can see that there's all flush hatches on the deck. That is super cool. I love it. That makes the deck so nice. You can see that the winches for the mast are not mounted on the mast, rather on the deck of the boat. All of the hardware going down the mast is all high load blocks. And then going up the mast, you can see that all the lines are Dyneema and a lot of the lines are run really nicely. And then it's got a carbon fiber spinnaker pole on a track, which I really love. Just a really pretty mast. All the rigging is done really well. Whoever rigged this boat did an excellent job. It's got a leisure furl on it, which isn't my first choice, but since it's already on there, that's about a $60,000 boom. So might as well leave it on there and learn to deal with it. And it's very, very convenient. It's got a hydraulic boom vang. That's the fourth hydraulic system that we've seen so far. And then look at these windows. They're huge pieces of safety glass, laminated safety glass. So if it does break, it's not going to break up into shards. And these are held in by glue, which means that they're going to have to be rebed every once in a while. So just go in there knowing if you have windows like this that are held in like a skyscraper window just with the adhesive, you're going to have to change that adhesive every once in a while because they're going to start leaking. And if they leak at the dock, that means they're going to piss water underway. So just remember that. And then you get back to the winch farm. Half the winches are, or more than half the winches are hydraulic. So not the first one, but that one's hydraulic. You can see the buttons for it there. That's a slow and fast speed. There's some clutches, and then you got another hydraulic winch behind it. Big heavy sheaves. And this line is for the running backstays. Because it's got a staysail stay, you have to have running backstays to be able to run that safely. Very, very pretty, very nice boat. So one of the things I think that he should put on this boat is a way to take these running backstays. You can put them both. A lot of the times what people will do, they'll put these both through a frictionless ring, and then they'll tie a line around that frictionless ring that they can pull this whole setup up forward a little bit and get it out of the way of everybody. That would be a good investment, I think. I mean, they're not really in the way until you start to put the sail up, you know, because this is getting it in the way of the boom when you try to put the boom out when you're sailing. It's the only thing. That's the reason why. So just to round out the aft part of the exterior of the boat, you've got a couple of flush hatches, and then on this back area you've got a propane locker on the port side and two accesses to the same open lazarette space athwartships of the center line. which is a very fancy way to say there's two on either side of the center. Now, everything on this boat is accessed via winch handle, which is super cool and easy. And all you need to do is just have enough winch handles and don't lose them overboard. This is a big space, but what I want to draw attention to here is actually the watertight bulkhead in front of the steering system on this boat. You can see it right here. This is the rudder shaft. There's an emergency access on the deck, and then that goes down into the rudder. And if something does happen, if you get your rudder bitten off by an orca, or if you are unfortunate enough to hit something and knock that thing off and break the boat in the same time, the boat's not going to go down. It's a very, very nice feature on a Bluewater boat. So well done, Senor Farr. Oh man, that feature's so cool. You can use a winch handle for everything on the whole boat. It's whoever designed this boat, Mr. Farr, he did a great job. He really thought about cruising and how an ease of use, and just everything's set up pretty sweet, man. I love it. The Traveler's really strong. The running backstays are put into really nice 100 mil high load blocks, these things. That's a big high load block there. The sheaves are big Harkin sheaves for the staysail and the jib sheet. That's this piece right here. It's got nice door ads. This is a beautiful boat. Big Simpson davits. You can put about 500 pounds on these davits, so you can have a center console dinghy if you wanted. And then the swim transom, you can have fun all day on. I really like transoms like this. This is kind of my favorite style of sailboats for offshore, as you probably know. Yeah, let's go inside and see it. All right, we're gonna go inside, but first I'm just gonna show you a couple of things about the exterior that I didn't show you yet. Like, this is how a good boat is designed. You see how these lines go inside? They go underneath, they go all the way up here, and they pop out here, right through these deck organizers, through these high load sheaves. These are high load because of the cylindrical bearings in there. And then they go up to where they need to be. One is the furler and one is the halyard for the leisure furl main. Now, that may be just a little design difference for you guys, but for me, I can see that none of this is going to chafe and everything's going to move really freely. Those are two lines that you absolutely have to have well, and they run really well in this boat. Okay, so let's go inside. Woohoo! There's the cockpit. That's what everybody's waiting for, right? Beautiful, huh? And it's long enough where you'd have one person here, one person here, and one person here, which is actually key when you're underway. I mean, ask any of my crew. We spend a lot of time out here sleeping, and the more room you have out in the cockpit, the better, really. If you got 5 people on the crew. So you can see the whole boat from here. This is a center cockpit. That means that the cockpit's in the center. A lot of other boats have the cockpit in the aft. I really like center cockpit boats just because you're up here and you're high and you can see everything. And I can see the bow. I can control the anchor windlass from here. You can basically do everything. I've got the bow thruster up and down. All the hydraulics can be controlled from here. The autopilot, and then of course your compass and your chart plotter. That is key when you're cruising. See, especially single-handed. If you're single-handed on this boat, you're going to need everything to be right at the cockpit, and it is. We have buttons for everything, so that's cool. I can drive this boat out, get it out of a danger zone, and go anchor it by myself. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, to go inside the boat. I really like this companionway. It's got some tinted plexiglass on the top. It's got these nice teak doors on the front, and the accoutrement. Look at this. It's electric. Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Oh man, probably a bad idea offshore though. But look at this freaking salon. Oh my gosh. So big rails coming down here, custom carpets, really big stairs. They're super comfortable. They're not too steep. And look at this raised deck salon boat. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, huh? Just take it in. So we're going to go and talk about all this stuff. First, why is this called a raised deck salon? Because you got to step down out of the salon into the galley or into the front of the boat to get to the cabins. And they do that for 2 reasons. One reason is because they can put the engine under here, and now you can lift this up, and the engine access is phenomenal. Second reason is I'm looking at eye height right now. You're seeing what I'm seeing. You can see everything. You can see the entire boat. You can see the entire sea. You can see all the pirates coming up to try to rob you. They're probably going to be coming up from about that angle. But anyway, that's why they do it, because you can see out. And you know, they have this feature in a lot of catamarans, but to get a monohull like this with this kind of visibility is few and far between. So A+ for visibility, Senor Farr. So what do we got in here? Starting over here, we've got all of the electronics. This is the nav station, which nowadays is a little bit smaller because they're not making paper charts anymore. They don't have to make these nav stations as big as a NOAA chart because no one's using paper charts anymore. They're all using electronic charts. So this is more like an office. So you can sit here in this nice, comfortable airline quality chair, and it's actually very comfortable. Actually, let's see. Let's just test it. Oh yeah, for a boat, having a chair like this, I want this chair. All of the electrical panels are here. So you got the DC panel, the lights panel. This is all the heaters. This is the master volt system and the generator. And then this is your battery monitoring. Autopilot. The reason they call this a pilot house is because there's actually, you can put a winch handle in here and handle the main engine from here. This is the main engine. So forward, reverse, and then power each way. And then you can drive the boat with the autopilot. So is this boat an actual pilot house? There's no wheel. I don't know. I mean, you would definitely want to do watch down here if it was crap weather upstairs. But would you be driving the boat from in here? In the marina, no. But offshore, yeah, sure. I just don't see it why you would need to adjust the motor from in here. Like putting all that cabling in and that whole thing. Why don't you just go outside and adjust the motor and then come back inside? I don't know, but yeah, it's a pilot house. It's a different kind of pilot house. It's not such a big pilot house that this gets in the way or has too much windage. So as far as pilot houses go, this is a nice one, in my opinion. Behind here is all the circuit breakers for all of the electrical. On a boat this size, you're gonna need 12 volts. Well, actually, you've got 5 volts for anything that's a USB, and then 12 volts for like pumps and stuff like that. And then 24 volts for the battery system because the boat's big enough where you have to have a 20 volt, 36 or 48 volt battery system. Then you're going to have 110 AC and 220 AC. So you have 4 or 5 different systems on this boat, and it ends up being very complicated. This is a very complicated boat. That's just the electrical side. Then think about the hydraulics. You got a hydraulic furler, a hydraulic windlass, a hydraulic bow thruster, a hydraulic winches, and all that stuff is driven by 2 PTOs. So you got to know how hydraulic works, because if you don't, then you're going to lose everything. You're not going to be able to sail a boat. So coming back, we've got this big, huge, square-shaped settee, which is amazing. This opens up, and it's got a motor inside it that drops down. So you can push a button and drop this all the way down, and it turns it into a huge square bed, which I freaking love. That is such a good feature. That can not only be used to watch movies, you can use this underway as like, this is the most important and best bed. You could literally have somebody on watch here, standing up, looking around. That would be a great watch standing position, and then have your partner here laying down sleeping. So you guys can take turns, and you don't even have to leave each other's side. If anything happens, you're right there. Great option. I had that on my catamaran. Loved that bed. And then this one is long enough to lay down on, but not really long enough to sleep. So that's more of like a love seat couch thing. Going forward, we have a day head. In my opinion, on a cruising boat, you only need 2 heads, or maybe even only 1, depending on how big the boat is. So having a day head like this, if it were me designing the boat, I would have knocked this wall out and then made this longer so somebody could actually sleep here with a lee cloth. So just taking this whole thing out, I maybe left this wall, made this long enough to sleep on, and then made this into an office. I think that would be a much better use of this space, but some people really like rebuilding heads, so, you know, can't fault those people. All right, coming forward even more, this boat is very unique because you have not only one Pullman, you have bunk beds as well. Everything has their own access. There's like 4 doors, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they share this head, which is a wet head, but it's a very big wet head with no wood inside it or anything. So when you come in here, you can shut it. You can put the faucet here, and then the whole thing is your wet, shower. It's huge. Okay. And then you got plenty of storage and stuff in here. And one thing I didn't show you yet is it's got room for a full-size washing machine, which is super cool. And kind of key on a cruising boat. All right, so this is one of my favorite parts about the boat. This is a watertight hatch. So this boat has 2 watertight bulkheads. You're looking at them both right here. That's a watertight bulkhead, and this is a watertight bulkhead. So normally what this would be, like I said before, is this is the sail locker. This is what I showed you before. These hatches are awesome too. Really nice. Boom. So that is that first hatch I showed you outside, and that comes down into here, which would normally be a sail locker, but these guys turned it into a workshop, and a bad workshop. Look at, we've got a vise, we've got very heavy duty tables, we've got room for all our tools. This is awesome. This needs to be bolted down. So this somebody needs to take like a piece of teak and then screw it down into this wood so that doesn't go anywhere. But other than that, I'm guessing these are for fenders. I bet you this was fender holders at one time, but not sure. Could have been lines. I'm not sure. I don't know what this is for, to tell you the truth. Somebody can comment down below and tell me. All right. Front of the boat, guest cabins, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Every cabin has its own independent air conditioning, heating. There's one there for that one. There's one there for this one. This one's open because I was just turning it off. There's one here for this one. And there's one in the back. So now we'll go to the galley, show you the galley. We'll go to the back room, and then I'm going to open up the engine room for you, and you can see the engine. Okay, cool. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. There's 4 fridges on this boat. 4. One in here. Cool. One in here. One in here. And check this out. This is one of the coolest parts about the boat too, actually. This is a powered one too. Oh! And it's cold. Beer fridge. Cool. That's so nice, right? Very nice Corian countertops. Super, super sweet kitchen. Everything you can just slide right into the sink. That's super nice. A good functionality. And then this is kind of an offshore style galley too, because look, I can brace myself and I can cook. And then when I'm gonna bring some coffee up to the watchstander, I've got a lot of stuff to hold on to, and it would be very difficult to fly across the galley and hurt myself. You know, some boats have just one galley right here and then it's open space behind it. That's a little bit more dangerous. All right. This is the generator room. This houses the 15 kilowatt generator. That's as big as some people's engines on their boats. It's a 4-cylinder Yanmar with a PTO on the front. You can barely see the PTO right there. There's the PTO. That's the power takeoff for the hydraulics. So it's got engine, magneto to make power, and then power takeoff to have hydraulics. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's the Seawater Pro panel for the water maker, and yeah, something's alarming in here. I hear it. Do you hear it? Anyway, it's nice. That's a very nice engine room. Very nice heat shielding too. Super good. All right, look at that. Where the magic happens. The main cabin. All right. We just had the guy come yesterday to do the engine survey, so everybody, so the insurance would be okay with, you know, covering everything. So that's why the cover's off for the generator. I wanted to show you guys the generator too, so I'll put this back on, Tony, don't worry. Beautiful boat. This is, I mean, 6'4" of headroom, and you can walk around everywhere. There's a little couch to sit on. It's I mean, 56-foot boat, man. This should definitely go down inside here. You know, I'd like a button to put that in there. All right, and then the head. This has one of my coolest features too. My favorite parts of the boat is this thing right here. Check this out. Some of this is the shower. And look at this. It's a winch. You can put a winch handle in there. That was a good idea. It just looks so cute. Yeah, isn't that neat? This is really nice. So it's got its own shower head, which you'd expect on a 56-foot boat. All right, so that's pretty nice. Let's go open the engine room, huh? We got to disturb this beautiful carpet. You know, these carpets are so nice. It's hard to get these because what they do is they make the carpet, they cut it all out, and they put it through a machine to put this seam on the edge, and then they have to glue on this piece, or else the carpet material underneath this will scratch the decks. So you have to put that little piece on. That's the key to making one of these. All right. And then also everything's controlled by winch handles. There's a little bit of storage under the stairs. Oops. So it dents up his floor. Okay, is that gonna clear that? Oh boy. There we go. All right, so number 2 reason to have a deck salon is to have the engine access like this. This is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna explain all this stuff for you guys. All right, so there's a little seat here, which is kind of nice. And this is the main attraction. The auxiliary engine is so easy to get to work on, to maintain, and to repair or to change out, that's why they put this raised deck saloon, so they could fit the engine room here instead of here, like most other boats. It'd be under the stairs. So in here, you've got, I think this is a 160. I'm not sure. It might be a 130, but you have a Yanmar auxiliary engine. That's all of the filtration system. This is your water maker system. That's a hydraulic tank. That's the PTO that I was showing you guys on the generator. That's the generator. That's the magneto for the generator. That's the power takeoff for the hydraulics. Hydraulic tank, muffler for the engine. This is called an aqua drive. It's like a CV joint that keeps it, so if you have any vibration or it's not perfectly aligned, that'll take care of that. So you have a little shaft in there, and then it keeps the actual propeller shaft from vibrating, because it's so long you don't want it to vibrate at all, because it'll really screw up what's ever over here, which is your dripless shaft seal, and then your cutlass bearing on the outside there. All right. Cool. And then there's a water heater in there. That looks pretty old. That looks original, but it still works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Who said that? Comment below and tell me. All right. I'm gonna put all this back together, and then we're gonna chat about this boat a little bit, and then this will be the end. All right, what'd you guys think? This is a cool boat, right? So the reason that this boat is a Bluewater boat is because of the way that it's built. Those 2 crushed bulkheads that I showed you in here, this one and this one, this door, just in case you totally crash the boat. Another design feature that I didn't mention is the way that the power hooks up, the shore power. So this is a hole that the shore power goes through, and then they put the connection here. You know, somebody that was a cruiser thought about this, because normally you have this line draped down the whole length of the boat and it's all over the place. This one just goes right through the anchor locker. There's a hole in it in the top, and then there's a hole right here that can get plugged up with I think the thing's right here. Yeah, you just put this on when you go out to sea. Okay, and then you don't have so much of this hose draped all over your boat. Just really cool. You know, whoever designed the boat, Mr. Farr, did a really good job. He thought about it. He's definitely been out to sea before. And then now I've got 2 watertight enclosures just in case I smashed the front of the boat. Like, say somebody tries to run me over with a big tanker ship or something. It takes off the entire front of the boat. You'll still survive. Yeah, your tools won't. Now, one of the things that is a compromise is how big this salon is. And this is the same thing on my Oyster. It's just a little too big to be considered like super blue water. You want to have a little bit tighter spaces so you can lean up against them and you can wedge yourself in. And when you have a hallway style boat with tighter spaces, it's a lot easier to do that. Now, how practical is that to be living on full time? Not really, especially with the way that boats are being designed and the way that designs are going nowadays. Not really practical. So this is a really good, kind of halfway between thing. You've got a lot of handholds in here. This is a nice boat, man. It's very thick fiberglass. It's got really nice hydraulic, powerful bow thruster. You can just lean on the bow thruster, no problem. You're not going to drain a battery and then be without a bow thruster. So, the hydraulic thing is kind of a double-edged sword. The other thing about a boat like this is it's super complicated. I mean, you've got hydraulic systems and so many different power systems and all of the lines and all of the heating system and the air conditioning system and the radio system, everything. There's so many different wires and plugs and tubes and hoses running through this boat that if this was your first one that you've ever owned, it is going to be a nightmare for you. I guarantee it. Now, if you've been cruising a while and you understand what you're getting into when you jump into a boat like this, that's different. Or if you have the facility to have somebody on your boat to be the engineer to do all the maintenance for you, that would actually be the best thing to do on this boat. Is to hire a kid and have him live in the front and pay him a little bit of money to take care of all the maintenance, because there's a lot of maintenance on this boat that needs to happen. And it'd be cheaper in the long run to just pay somebody to live on the boat with you. But a lot of people don't want to do that. And if you're taking on a boat like this by yourself, it's going to be a lot of work. Your list will be long, my friend. But in exchange, you get one of the most beautiful, biggest, prettiest pilot houses that I've ever been on. And so I'm going to leave you guys there. I love you. Thank you for following me during this tour. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe. And if you liked the tour, please give me a like. That helps me out. And until next time, happy Thanksgiving. Much love.